Alrighty guys, so we're back now with round 4, reaching roughly the halfway point. So we've got Sakazuki into Pluffy. We did see a bit of Hironori's Sakazuki deck last round, clutching out the win against Enel, able to drop the 2k counters, as well as getting around the, what do you call it, 200 million volts Amaru. I'm not sure who's won the dice roll, but let's talk game plan that we're going to see here from both Purple Luffy as well as Sakazuki. So in the Eastern meta, Purple Luffy was really a menace as soon as OP5 came out. Just the aggressive ramp. It was able to play faster than a lot of other decks and saw a lot of play. Enter the arena, Sakazuki. Sakazuki was able to control every card that Purple Luffy was able to put down, often with minimal resources spent. And eventually able to grind out the win. We have what looks like the Purple Luffy player. Actually, I don't even know, because some lists of Purple Luffy want to go first, others want to go second. Either way, we're seeing Sakazuki go first, potentially denying him that chance. We're looting, a Bartolo Mayo at this point, so a 2k down, and a great target to get back off of Hina. Purple Luffy, no turn 2 play. They often don't have a lot of turn 2 plays here. And let's see how the Sakazuki follows up with 3. Will we seeing pressure? Will the Hina come down? Or are we just going to see an 8k swing into life, forcing that early aggression? So Purple Luffy has to really be careful with its life. It can't just take every swing. It is a bit like Whitebeard in the way that it can generate a hand very quickly. But typically every Purple Luffy player, you'll see it use in the early, mid, and mostly late game. You'll see it use its ability once, sometimes twice, depending on the matchup. It may use it again in the ultimate last turn when it's going for game, but they're typically the only times you'll see it use it. Typically, it won't use it against, sometimes, depending on the hand, Rush Zoro, but usually most Purple Luffy players will activate its ability once or twice over the course of a game on average. We're going to see the looting of a Kuzan, and it looks like we've got 6k crashing in to the board here. Purple Luffy, chock full of 2Ks, no doubt. He's just going to drop a Khalifa. And 2 Don, are we going to see a passing of the turn? Nope, we are going to see a brand new. Going to reveal those top 3. Going to have a look for a Navy card. So we've got, Whiff, cannot grab brand new. And Runny, wow, that's, whew. I'm going to pull that card up now so you can see what it is. But we had the ulti available there. So the ulti is seeing some fringe play in Sakazuki lists, but we've just seen the detriment of it right there. So 3 cost 4k, Dawn 1 when attacking, search up to 1 character with a cost of 2 or less. Return up to 1 character with a cost of 2 or less to its owner's hand or bottom of their deck. So it can work on either player, which is just fantastic. It can bounce a search or brand new if you need it to. But here, you're seeing the downside, not running enough of those Navy cards. If that was a Hina, that would have been far better for his situation there. So Sakazuki already on the back foot, and a Magellan from the Purple Luffy player. Now I find that this often isn't the greatest play against Sakazuki because they have so many bottom decks, unless you can turbo it out either turn 2 or turn 3 here. And the Purple Luffy player able to get it out turn 2, force that Sakazuki player back to 4 Don is quite massive here. So we have the looting of a Houndblaze. Now he should have duplicates here because that's one way he can deal with this Magellan if he has the Great Eruption. So we should still have a fairly strong hand here from Hinori. Let's see how he chooses to sequence this. He's definitely going to apply pressure to the leader, but does he drop down another threat to try and keep more pressure against the Purple Luffy player? Something of note as well, next turn, the Purple Luffy player is going to go to 6 Don. He could ramp up to 7 and play what many consider to be one of the worst SRs printed in OP3, but now is considered one of the more playable ones, Paulie. So he has access to Paulie next turn as well. So dropping down something like a Rob Lucci, Rebecca may not be completely the best play here, but let's just see how Sakazuki navigates this, if he can bottom deck this Magellan in some way, shape, or form. So Pluffy comboing out a Eustace Kid here, which I think is fine. Against Saka, you want to play, and here we go. So he's dropped it down to 4 with the leaded swing. The Suru's going to drop it down, and there's the Houndblaze. The Branu's going to swing in for 6. A great recovery from the Sakazuki play. Oh, 7, why not? Let's ensure you take that life. So The Luffy play will go down to 3. I think the poorly play is 100% out of the question now because there's no good targets. It's not worth taking a life here. Yes, it will get you up to the 10 Don for your next turn. But if we have a ramp card, if we even have a 7-cost kid, that could be worth dropping down here. 5 coming into lead. We know he only has access to 6 Don at the moment. So we'll see what he follows it up with, be it another Magellan or something similar. If it's just 5, I could see him targeting the Branu here. But we can see the opponent. It looks like he's got his laptop to the side, so just having a look at the board state, not trying to sneak anything off cam, I hope. I don't think he is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards in Sakazuki. 3 life. He's thinking about this. The purple Luffy just electing, obviously, to put pressure on. He has now seen 2 Hound Blazers, I'll be honest. Like, obviously, it's hard to see what his hand is, but I'm not a big fan of getting rid of that second Hound Blaze unless he has a 3rd one in hand. It's just so crucial in this matchup, I find. Getting rid of a lot of those cheap 4 or 5 costs that they play. Okay. So I did go into the Branu. The Branu is dead. Is that a poorly? And so he did do the play I mentioned. Okay. I don't know about that. And the reason I say that, yeah, so he's going to KO the Suru, that's fine. The issue I've got with this play is it drops the purple Luffy player to 2 life. And if Sakazuki can literally just do leader swing into Borsalino. Oh, can't Borsalino, sorry. He's only at 6 Don because of the Magellan. So maybe this is actually a bit of a heads-up play. This ensures the purple Luffy player gets to 10 and can drop the Kaido and apply even more pressure to this Sakazuki leader. He is splitting at 3 and 3 at the moment, so let's see what the Sakazuki player elects to do. If he had that Hound Blaze and a Great Eruption in hand, this poorly would also be bottom decked as well. The Lucci's going to disappear, so I think Great Eruption is out of the picture, or he has another Rob Lucci to deal with this poorly. Let's see what he does. He's got to be careful because he's going to run out of resources very quickly, and Purple Luffy hasn't seen their top end. I agree as well. I think so. Like, it's more like a lot of people see that, oh, you KO the Suru, that's not that great, but you have to realize this gets the purple Luffy player to 10 Don next turn. So he could follow up with either a Kaido, or he can go double Queen, or he could go Kid Blocker into 5-cost Queen. Getting to 10 Don is so crucial for Luffy, and a lot of the cards you want to play need to have a good on-play effect. They either need to replace himself, like Queen or Missile Sunday, or they need to have an immediate effect on the board, killing off something. Okay, just like the Paulie did just before. 3, is this a Hina? Yep, so we've got a Hina coming down. That's going to neg down that Paulie down to a 1 cost. Are we going to see a Hound Blaze and then 9k swing with the last Don? I feel like that's a... Yep, there we go. So he did have that third Hound Blaze. Discarding it was not a bad play by him. So good job there by Hero on the Saka. We see a 9k swing. I think the Luffy player is forced to take this one and go down to 1. And like I said, now we're in kind of danger, a bit of dangerous territory. Worth noting though, the Saka player's at 4 cards. 4. If the Luffy's able to get down a Kaido here, I think this could spell trouble for the Sakazuki player if he can't remove it. Cleaning up the Hina with... Yeah, and here's a 5k swing. So this could be a 5k swing. See what happens. Does he take it? Can we get another card out of hand? If you're the Saka player, you have to combo out of this. Yep, so Suru down. Picks up the 9, and I'm sure a 5 about to go back to the Don deck, because, yeah, Hero just picking it up before it even hit the board. He knew what was coming. So, 10 into lead, you take that. There's no point even... Yeah, no, you're not dropping your whole hand to save that. So, if this Kaido can hang around, the purple Luffy player's in an incredible position. But Saka's not out of this yet. This will be the 8 Don turn for Sakazuki. He's one Ice Age and Borsalino away from, in my opinion, getting back on track here. Let's see what he elects to do. Keep in mind, only 4 or 5 cards. There's a Lucci gone. Probably doesn't have the Ice Age if he's ditching that. 8 takes 5. No, he'd still be short on that anyway. So maybe the Lucci's just dead here. Probably Rebecca, so he's probably looking through, checking he's got the Hina. We remember that one did get KO'd, so he does have one in there thanks to the Kaido. Look at that hand. It's like Whitebeard 2.0 for Pluffy here. And the trouble is, and this is what has really helped the purple Luffy player, William, at this point in time here. He's been able to manage Sakazuki's board. He's not letting Sakazuki do the managing. He's the one doing it himself. That Magellan keeping him off the 7 Don for what could have been a leader swing Borsalino, getting rid of Magellan, was absolutely massive. Now, he's just thumbing through his options here. We probably have either a Man Sherry, but more than likely a Rebecca coming down. But the trouble is, unless he has the 4th Houndblaze and an Ice Age, well, let's see, 4-5, leader swing, we'll drop it to 4. It could be a Great Eruption as well. He's not dealing with this Kaido that I can see, unless I'm missing just something here. And I think that's what Heroes is looking at, like, hey, I can't actually deal with this Kaido now. I'm at 2 life. Do I go the blocker route and just try and dump my hand to get him down to no life? But the fact that the purple Luffy player, William's been able to control his board, as I said earlier, has really led to just an unfavourable, I'd say, position now for the Sakazuki player. It's a little bit like the mirror, a trading of resources, but usually you see the Saka player is able to generate kind of a lot more. I know he didn't really have the greatest early turns as well, though, the Sakazuki player, Hinori. Okay. Still 8 Don. He's deep in the tank. He's got to have options here as well. He's already looted. He did that first, so that leads me to believe the options aren't great. It seems like he was digging for something pretty specific in this circumstance. And if... well, playing Sakazuki is just a puzzle, okay? Sometimes you get those puzzles that are just missing pieces and can't finish it. The loot is great, but it doesn't always dig you out of trouble here, okay? Purple Luffy just waiting patiently. Going to try and count the cards. I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I count 8 cards, 1 life. This is such a good position. The double ramp I thought was extremely risky from the purple Luffy player, but following it up with the Kaido and hoping he can't remove it, we're seeing that benefit here now as well. Okay, it's decided, so he's leaving 6 Don open. Looks like a 7k swing into lead. I think that's just going to be probably a Gatling and just a dead card, or a 2 and a 1k, or 2 2ks out of hand. There's no way as a Luffy player, unless his hand is absolutely bricked, that you let that through. And that's what he's just going to check now. And here it comes. So, yep, 2 and a 1k. So, survives that one. Now, let's see what he can do for 6. Is it going to be brand new into Rebecca? Laying out a Hina to possibly set up some wider swings next turn. Luffy will be at 7, potentially 8 Don next turn. I don't think he can close it at... oh, Man Sherry. Here we go. So, we know the Kaido is 100% living here. Short of, like, some Ice Age shenanigans. He's going to bottom deck, I think it's 2 cards, and get a black card between cost 3 and 7 back to hand. So bottom decking the Hound Blazers. Probably going to get back Rebecca blocker. But then if he's got another copy of Paulie, that's just an absolute blowout. Okay, getting the Barto, so he probably has the Rebecca. I don't think he had a Rebecca in trash anyway. And for play that, get Hina. Oh no, Borsalino. Okay, there we go. So he's found a way to effectively block out, because Purple Luffy has no way of removing that Borsalino. It relies all on KO, no resting here. He'll draw up to his... so he was at 8 down to 6. 7, should be 7 cards in hand for the Purple Luffy player. 7 Don. How's he going to manage this? There's an argument that because the Saka player is so low on cards, he could take any swing, or not any swing, but the Kaido swing that comes through as well. You can tell he was looking, like he discarded pretty early and looted to try and find that kind of answer and wasn't able to do so. So let's see how Pluffy sequences this. So 5, I like this. So it looks like he's going 5 leader. Now the reason I like this, if he blocks with the Borsalino, Kaido can clean it up. Or if there's... I don't think they play other rush characters, so that's fine. What's he going to do? He hasn't comboed out yet. We're still deciding what we're going to do. Four cards for Saka. Danger signs for him. It's only a 5k swing too. He's got to be... He moves some space next to the man Sherry. He is indeed thinking of blocking here. But it seems like the purple Luffy player, like... I don't think they can afford to take it slow, but this play seems to me like they want to take it a bit slow. If there was a 7-cost kid, he would have played that first and swung 6 into lead so they couldn't get a free block out of the Borsalino. But then there's no real other play at 7 Don. It could also just be a poorly to kill the man Sherry and then go 11 at lead with the Kata. Or with the Kaido, sorry. We do see that Borsalino that was retrieved off the man Sherry go down as well. So that's out of hand. Down to 3 in hand now. I feel giving life... Okay, swing, lead... I mean, he has to take it here, right? He has to be digging for ways out of this game. I don't think like we said earlier, there's no Amaru. There's no way to... And there it is. So he's... Hopefully he doesn't misplay and target, but no, he does target the man Sherry. Well played. Well played. Could have done it first to get... Yeah, and this is what I don't know about. Bit of missequencing there, in my opinion, from Will. Unless he's got the blast breath. I could be completely wrong. He could have a blast breath, and that could nullify my kind of thought process here. And with 2 cards, no blocker, that probably is what he's representing. So I'll take that back, actually. Being at 1, that was probably the far better play. If it was at 2 life, I would have done the poorly first, then put the 1 active onto the Monkey D. Luffy, and that way he doesn't get a free block out of the Borsalino. Now, I think that Hero realized he needs this Borsalino to survive, which is why he was happy to just combo out of the first attack. And now he might try and go for game, but with that 1 Don staring him in the face, he has to feel incredibly anxious about it. Yes, he's only down to 6 cards in hand, the purple Luffy player, but it's looking... I don't know. This could still go anywhere. Purple Luffy is one of the most... Not inconsistent, but if there's a deck that's going to brick on no counters in hand, it's going to be Luffy. This could just be next level gamesmanship as well. He could just be bluffing that blast breath as well. Yep, Kuzan's not doing anything here. I think that's a perfect discard there. Hopefully he picks up another puzzle piece because he's looking a bit puzzled at the moment in terms of how he's going to do it. So the Saka not able to keep up with the early pressure, the double ramp from Luffy. He couldn't deal with the Kaido. It's spelling danger signs for him now, but either player is still in this. What's going through the head of Hero? How's he going to sequence this? He's either got a lot of lines or not many. And the ones that aren't many mustn't be very good. Like I said, there's an argument he could still go for game here, but I think that's the biggest kind of trap against this purple Luffy player. He's not separating Don. He could also just have the Kaido secret as well and maybe try and set it up for a win next turn. Hope the Borsalino does the job. But we'll see how this ends up going. Saka has to be at lead. What's he going to neg? Has he found the pieces to remove this Kaido? Combo's out 1. Hina. But what's it dropping? Borsia, okay, so it would have been 8-4. Yep, okay, so we found the line. 10 Don gets rid of that. He's still at 1 life. And Borsalino can't be KO'd. That was a great recovery there from Hero on the Saka list. Let's see if Purple Luffy can respond in tow. There are 2 threats out there now, so it's going to be difficult. Sends the 5k. Oh, he's at the 10 Don. This could be the Kaido. He's going to force him to have it. I think he'll go 7 on... Yep, so 2k out. I think he puts a Don... Okay, no, he doesn't. This could be a defensive double blocker turn. He's just going to go the 6. Block, let it die. Pluffy, if he drops 2 blockers here, I think is in fantastic shape. Queen? No, Kid. And then probably a Queen. Yep, Neg, get it back. Hold up Blast Breath. Get 2 new cards in hand and ditch a dead one. We're probably going to see something like an additional Kaido or a Kid get discarded. It was a Magellan, so again, something with just no counter. And here we go. So Saka with 3 cards in hand. No more Borsalino. Short of a miracle, I don't think he's getting another turn here. He needs a lot of wide removal. A lot of wide removal if he's going to have a chance here to deal the last 2 damage he needs to deal to the Purple Luffy. Haven't seen him loot yet, so he's got options in his hand. He's not looking for a particular card to close it out, and if he can even close it out through these 2 blockers. This is the danger of the 10 Don turn for Luffy. They can get double blocker down, and the 1 Don for the Blast Breath is going to be back-breaking. Let's see what he does. 3 in hand, 1 life, Borsalino, Hina, leader swing. For those unfamiliar with Blast Breath, I'll bring that up on screen now as well for you. Starter deck 4 card. Can be picked up pretty cheap. It was in a revision pack, thankfully. Animal Kingdom Pirates, Don -1. Get 4k for the battle for 1 Don. So it's like a Rad Beam, but Don -1 and no life restriction to it. He's separating 2 5s. He could be blockering up as well. Tough plays. What's he going to do? He's not even testing the water. Double blocker could spell some trouble here for William. It's funny with One Piece. The first few turns usually go so quick, and then when you get down to like even less cards in hand, more Don, the whole game just feels like it drags on a little bit. Just that decision making. These players aren't slow playing. There is just so many decisions that hinge on your usually turn 4, turn 5, turn 6, depending on obviously if you're aggro or control. Here we go. So we're going to see a 9k swing first. This dances around Blast Breath against the Luffy 5k. He's reliant on it. He's okay. He's like, you know what? I'll happily take that. I'm going to save my blockers. Let's see how he navigates this. So 9 Don available. There could be a combination of leader swing, Borsalino bottom decking the Kid. He'll activate leader ability finally, ditching the Rob Lucci. The Rob Lucci is not going to help you unless you've got a few combination of cards here. Could be thinking of a Sabo. That's just as good as a Borsalino here as well. He's putting 5 to one side, so Sabo seems more likely. Yep, still 9 Don. There could be a combination of Rebecca coming here. I wonder if we see Rebecca get Hina, play Great Eruption, lead a swing, neg one of them, and the Hina drops the other to 1. So we could absolutely see that combination of play here. I feel if he had that exact combination, he would have windmill slammed it by now to clear the 2 blockers and then poke life to force more cards out of hand. We're approaching what feels like minute 5 on this turn. Probably has been nowhere near that long. So Hina negging. Looks like the Kid. Kid's 100% the target here, by the way. Gets you less value on the opponent's turn compared to the Queen. Because they're both the same stat line. Kid just has the extra effect. There's the Houndblade. So he'll bottom deck that and put it on the Hina. Getting Hina up to 8k. He doesn't look like he has a way to deal with the other one. But this is now 2 9k... Oh, sorry. It'd be an 8k swing and a 9k swing. He knows he has... Okay, so we're in... Unless he's got a Rebecca, I think he has to win here. There's the block. Is he going to save it? To me, this telegraphs Blast Breath. He's not winning here. He's either got 2k... Oh, sorry. He's got 4 in hand. He's either got 5k worth of combo or a Blast Breath and a 1k. Saving the Queen signals here that he needs it to try and go for game next turn. That he believes he's confident he's not dying here. I think the Saka player is realizing that now. 1 card in hand. He's used leader ability. He can't loot and search. Rebecca get a 2k? No, just 9. He knows. Does he go board? I can't tell what cards they are. Are they Frankie? I think they're the Frankies from Water 7, so he might be running the Water 7 searcher engine in there. Oh no, Drakes. They were Drakes. My apologies. So combat out with 6k. He's going to pass the turn there. Like I said, he would have let the Queen die if he didn't have that much combo. But unfortunately, Hero was just forced into that situation. He'll just go 7 lead, take the last life, dump the Don, and get the Dubsky here. Shouldn't be a trigger. And then just, load up the Luffy, get into the red zone. And that will do it. Oh, we had the Great Eruption. I think he might have... Yeah, I think he drew the Ice Age, off of life. But that will do it for our round 4. It doesn't look like we have a huge amount of games still continuing. I'll just check how much time's left. We have 9 minutes. We can use this time to go see another game. But GG there, William Hudson really doing well on Purple Luffy. Unfortunately, Saka probably getting a bit unlucky, not able to remove the 9 cost. But that's the way it goes. Anyway, table 3. Here we go. We saw one of these players earlier, Sakazuki, in round 1. And we've got an Enel matchup here. The Enel player looks to be at 1 life. You can see it to the left of that Shirahoshi. This is a very weird way to display the board. And we've got a judge in here too. So I'm a bit surprised they're letting it be stacked this way. Maybe it's an issue with camera. It does look a little bit narrow. But look, either way, let's just tear through this game and really have a look at how everyone is going with it. So, we'll just keep it on Big Mum for now. Okay, so 4 life for the Saka player. Enel's looking like they're in a bit of trouble. The hand's looking about probably 4 or 5 copies. We get the Big Mum. He's electing to give them the life, so Saka seems pretty confident, but there's no big threats his side of the board either. I would have maybe critted that Borsalino potentially there with that 7 cost coming out. Here comes a 5k swing into lead as well. He could potentially... See, well, if you crit the life there and then he swings a 5k, you get a 7 cost Borsalino, which is going to clear one of them. There is still the 8k swing to come with leader as well, though, by the sounds of things. It looks like there's 1, 2, 3. It's either 4 or 5 cards. I think 4 cards left in Sakazuki's hand. So this may not be as clear-cut as it seems. It seems like Enel's really been forcing a lot of Borsalino's big threats back into life and is trying to win the long game. The only trouble is I find, depending obviously on hand and stuff like that, usually Sakazuki's threats will absolutely trump Enel's in the long run. Happily taking those 2 life. We'll see a passing of the turn from the NL player here. Sakazuki with 10 Don. Let's see how they choose to structure this turn. Keep in mind, I'm even a bit surprised that Rebecca didn't block down maybe that ACOS, but maybe he was desperately trying to get that life down to get the Borsalino. So we're back up to, I think, 7 cards in hand. For 2 life, bringing him up to 6, and 1 for the draw is 7. Just to let you know, yeah, the purple Luffy player 1 had too much counter in hand for Sakazuki to deal with. So I couldn't get the final damager and couldn't find the blockers or ways to remove cards. Alright. 10 Don Sakazuki, what are you going to do? There's no good... Unless there's an Ice Age Houndblaze, Branu might get into the red zone, but I don't think he'll be seeing play. We're seeing 1. This is an Ice Age or a Great Eruption. Or Mansherry, my apologies. What's Mansherry going to get, though? So I'll pull up Mansherry while we wait. Typically played as a 1 or 2 of, mainly 2 of, in a lot of these Sakazuki decks. Brilliant card in the the mirror matchup. As you can see, they're activating main 1 rest. You may rest this character, place 2 cards from your trash at the bottom of your deck in any order. Add up to 1 black character with a cost of 3 or 5 from your trash to your hand. So, opting to get... This is what we call the 10 Don loop. So he could go Rebecca, drop down Hina, drop down Lucci, but with Leader Swing, that will be enough to clear off the 7 cost here. Again, that's another, like, if he blocked with the... I guess he needed the Borsalino. I don't know. It's the only reason I can think he went from 4 to 2 there and didn't use the Rebecca blocker on the AK swing. I feel that's just the best opportunity to use that. Alright, piecing it together. What are we doing? He should have 8 Don available if I'm not mistaken. Can I release his 6 though? It's probably hiding underneath. 5k swing. Probably negging, if I'm going to have a guess, I think he's going to neg the Charlotte Linlin. Get it to 6. Yeah, there we go. So the Don's underneath. We've got 5 Don coming. 4 Don, sorry. This will be the Rebecca. I think Suru is going to get replaced here. Does he have the Hina in trash? Does, gets it back to hand. This will drop Big Mum down to 2, and then we could see either Rob Lucci replacing... I'd replace the Branu here. Probably Mansherry. Mansherry is the 100% not living because of the Shirahoshi and Pudding on board at the moment. So what do we got? We're going to see the Houndblaze to deal with the Big Mum with a swing for... Well, the hard part of swinging for life doesn't really do anything here anyway, because he just gets a free cycle. He's only got 1 more attacker, and that's the Branu. If he's gone Rebecca into Hina, he's got a plan. It has to, in my opinion, has to be the Lucci to take care of the 7 cost Big Mum and the Pudding. But no, we are going to see the Houndblaze. And putting it onto... I mean, surely the Branu's just going to go into the Pudding here. You don't give the NL player a free cycle because you've got nothing else to really combo it with. Getting in 7 cards in hand of the NL player too. Crazy. So that's interesting. The Houndblaze. I don't think there's a lot. Let's check Houndblaze. I don't think there's a life requirement on it. Did he put it on leader? Let's have a look at Houndblaze. Yeah, no life requirement on it. Strikes me as a bit odd. And yep, now the Shirahoshi will deal with the Mansherry. There's no point blocking that. Your Mansherry's dead. If he saves it, Pudding just gets in and cleans up the rest. 3 to the Branu. Yeah, I like that. We'll probably see... the Yamato. So, that will kill off the... Interestingly, the Branu Oh no, the Brenu was already dead, sorry. Yep, killing off the Hina. There we go. I thought for some reason he moved the Brenu off the Yamato, but that was killed earlier in combat. Okay. In comes Kata, definitely going to be going at life at the moment. We know he's already got one Borsalino in hand, so giving him another isn't really that big of a deal. Yellow can Amaru to kill, or not kill, but rest the Rebecca. So, I don't know. Did we? I think did he, no, he's comboed out. Did he combo out of that? No, he couldn't have. Trying to think how that Hina's ended up in the trash. Because it wasn't in play, but that's besides the point. So Enel managing to stick a decent board. Sakazuki struggling to go tit for tat. Having them removed early by the looks of it. And Enel now able to stick and really take control of this game. Making very efficient use of all of this life. Oh, okay. So they're getting close to time now. I'm just going to do a quick time check. They're probably down to 2 minutes if I was to have a guess. 40 seconds. At this point, the Enel player has the advantage. Unless the Saka player can... No, they still got 5 minutes of overtime anyway. So Great Eruption, probably targeting Yamato, right? Maybe it depends obviously on his hand, what he's got. Double Great Eruption Leader Swing could get the Yamato with a Borsalino. And we know he's got the Borsalino in hand as well. This is how he probably starts recovering. But that Enel player was such a big hand. Establishing the two big threats. He has to remove one of them. He can't pressure life here. He's got to establish a Borsalino and then set up game in 2 or 3 turns if the Enel player doesn't run out of gas, because he's on a hot streak at the moment. So what's he thinking? Just 5, I'm okay with that. 5 into lead. Oh, 5 into pudding. Okay. Wants to keep him at that 2 life by the looks of things. Ooh. Okay. Sabo? No, it's a 4 cost. Borsalino, another Kuzan. This... And dropping a Man Sherry as well. I'm just trying to think. So he played the Great Eruption to neg one of those down to either 6 or 7. Maybe he... actually, looking at it, I honestly think he just didn't have the cards... didn't have the cards to be able to remove either the Kata or the Yamato. And like I said, in so many of these games today, this is where Sakazuki can struggle. If they can't match the opponent resource for resource. So here, Shira, the disrespect. Shirahoshi getting into the red zone. 1 blocker being activated. We'll see Yamato for 9 come in. We know that the last 2 cards in life don't have counter. 9k again, so 2... Like, even... I think holding up 1 for L4 there is probably a better play. Like, I doubt, knowing that... I guess he doesn't really know his hand, but here... Again, I'm struggling to see how he can kind of get back into this. So it starts to see Grave by the look of it. Count out the number of threats he has. There's no way Sakazuki's connecting 4 times here. He does... We had a Borsalino earlier anyway. But he's used the Great Eruption, and we know he wouldn't have another Great Eruption because he had 8 Don. He could have gone one more Great Eruption to get, with Leader Swing in combination, get the Yamato down to 4 and then Borsalino it, and then establish a threat. The Kuzan's going to help him here, though, so he's going to be able to Kuzan and definitely clear something up here. Wouldn't surprise me if we're going to see a looping of Rebecca into Hina again here. So just bottom decking 2, and there it is. Rebecca comes to hand. With all that Don on the Shirahoshi, leads me to believe Enel doesn't have a huge amount going on here. We are in time for 3 minutes as well. Let's just go back to Big Mum. Or Houndblaze, that'll do. We will be in time here, and we do have a judge watching on closely as well. The Enel player has... even if it goes to tiebreakers, the Enel player is 100% going to have the win here. Takes the first life. There's no trigger there. They'll take another Leader Swing. Maybe they're trying to... But even then, they'll just build board and win that way. Yep, so we're going to see the Rebecca, Hina, probably Lucci combo. To clear, because when Kuzan swung, would have dipped one of them down. You replace the Mansherry. Or the Hina, but probably the Mansherry. And drop a Rob Lucci, try and set up for the kill next turn against an L, and hope you just dodge their triggers. Here's a 6, so we know we've got the Lucci in play. Swinging into Shira. Yeah, that's fine. No point giving him the cycle there. And Mansherry getting replaced for Lucci. There we go. So, who did Kuzan and Hina target? Did they target the Yamato, or did they target the Katakuri? Surely it was the Yamato. So, both players just waiting for that to happen. There we go. And yep, Yamato off the field now. Still dangerous times though. Keep in mind, I don't think he had any big threats because of how he spent the Don on the Shirahoshi. We could just see Amaru into Thunderbolt GG. I don't think he'd be able to take it, but no, he's donning up. He's going to go 6 at lead. Maybe he's trying to force a premature block. 2 1Ks, okay. Remember, a Nell player not out of the woods yet. There could, and honestly, there could be another Yamato coming, which wouldn't be lights out, but it would be close enough to it. All 5 of the current decent attackers that Sakazuki have would need to connect, and he's still sitting there. Ooh, what's happened there? So I'm not sure. We'll have to check who got the win there with tiebreak. So they have called game there. Enel does have 1 life left. So it leads me to believe that the Enel player would have won there. Let's just see. I'm just going to double check with the pairings if that result has been entered for table 3, and we can get you some confirmation before we leave. Yes. So Sam on Enel did indeed get the win there over Darren. And that will finish the stream for the 4th round. We will be back with for the 5th round very, very shortly.